When we move abroad, especially to a country like Australia, a lot of us tend to think, I've sorted my visa, I've filled so many forms over the last 1 year, I've written my SOPs, LORs, medicals, whatnot. So we think like, I'm here, all sorted. But the actual truth is, that's where the real movie begins once you've landed here. Because I've come to realize if you are complacent in the very beginning of your journey, it shows up later in how long it takes for you to find a full time job or even a part time job, how will you handle loneliness here, even in how fast you move towards your PR goals. That's why in this video, I'll be sharing 7 habits that I built out of necessity as a very lazy but very ambitious student. Habits that actually made my life easier back then and still push me forward now. And the best part is, after reading a lot of books, I've come to realize each of these habits are actually backed by science. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Priyanka, and on this channel I talk all things Australia and helping you young migrants settle in Australia in living a happy, healthy and a sustainable life. So if this is something you're interested in, hit that subscribe button and let's get right into the video now. So habit number 1 is moving your body daily. I cannot emphasize how huge this game changer is, because when you're actually treating your body right, a lot of things work in your favor. But the lazy truth that we tell ourselves is, oh, I don't have time to spend hours at the gym, nor do I have money as a student. And I agree with that. But the ambitious twist that I want you to apply here is you can walk, you can stretch, you can do a quick 15-minute workout at home, which is what I do a lot of times. Science says that exercise releases endorphins and serotonin, which actually improves our mood and reduces stress. Even 20 minutes of walking has been shown to boost focus and productivity, which is why I have this amazing walk pad under my desk and I, keep walking on it even while working. Or sometimes when I feel like, outside it's raining or the weather is not amazing, I would just walk on it. And now, no, I'm not saying you to invest in a walk pad, but as a student, we already have a lot of things going on in our lives. We have to go to our part-time work, we have to go to uni. So you have to make a plan and make things work in your favor. How can you do that? You can try to look for an accommodation which is close to uni and walk to uni. Always, think ahead and leave early so that you have time to walk. That way you'll be adding some walk in your day. You can also look for a part-time job that's close to your house maybe and walk there. This is what I did. I used to walk to my uni as well as to my part-time job. So there was a time when I realized that I'm not working out and it's, directly affecting my mental health. That's when I realized I need to start walking more, and that's all I could do back then. So I started walking to my part-time job, which was 3 kilometers away, and that would, just add almost an hour's walk to my daily routine. And I started seeing a lot of changes in my mental health and in my physical health as well. So think about how you can actually start working towards your body. Taking care of your body is the utmost thing that you can start doing once you've landed in Australia. Habit number 2 is cooking at home. I know the lazy truths that we keep telling ourselves is eating out feels easier, I have a lot to do, I just don't have time. But the ambitious twist that I want you to apply here is that cooking at home equals to a lot of saving money, boosting your health, and building that independence. I for a fact know whenever I do my meal prep on Sundays, I feel an amazing sense of independence because I'm not dependent on any restaurant or anyone else at all. I'm just dependent on myself. I put in time, I cooked, and now I have food in my refrigerator. So I want you to plan ahead, do some meal prep. I have a meal prep video, but I have to make more for you guys. So comment down meal prep if you want more healthy, quick meal prep videos. I have lots of, one pot dishes that I make, so I'd love to make those videos for you. And yeah, this is what I want you to think about. How can you make things easier for your ambitious self? Now you might think that cooking at home, how can that make me more ambitious, or how can that help me achieve my goals? Trust me, it does. Ambition needs energy. If you fuel yourself with junk every day, your body won't keep up with your goals and your mind will not let you actually focus on your goals. Do meal prep, plan your cooking, and accordingly move ahead. Habit number 3 is planning without over planning. I've come to realize that our brain actually loves throwing tantrums, So the lazy truth here would be, I don't want to plan, I don't want to color code all the planners and, do all the shenanigans required for planning. But the ambitious twist that I want you to think here is even simple nightly planning routine builds momentums. I usually do these days is वैसे तो most of the time I use this planner that I have and I keep it on my desk and I love it. I just got it from Kmart and I've spoken a lot about it. But all I do is I would just, write things down and do it on Sundays. But these days, what I just do is I would just, open the notes app in my phone and write down the tasks for today. So I would just like this, write the tasks for today, and I would know what all I'm doing. This could be in the morning or one night before, but this actually helps you keep on track. There are so many things that we have to do in a day as a student. You have to attend classes, apply for jobs, upskill yourself, get better at English, get better at communication, go out with friends, explore this beautiful country, clean, cook, a lot of things to do, which is why this planning is really required. So, as a student, again, I would just really, really recommend you to get this weekly planner. On Sundays, sit and plan everything, like write each and everything down. 15 minutes you'll give towards improving your English, 15 minutes you will give to understanding how to make a better resume. And I have a video coming up on how to make a better resume because I posted a video and you all really wanted me to build a video on resume. So that is coming up very soon. Please forgive me. I know I've been slacking, but I'm trying. So get a weekly planner and plan your week properly. Write everything down. Give 2 hours to applying jobs. You can't apply jobs just, while sitting in a tram or while sitting in a class. You have to give it proper time. If you want something to work out, you have to give time to it. I remember when I started working out and I was trying to build some muscle, I would go to the gym. I'd almost been going to the gym for 2 years now, and I still couldn't see any huge difference. But as soon as I entered that third year, I realized that now I'm seeing some definition. Now I'm seeing some change in my body. Now I can see some fat getting lost and more of muscle building. So that actually taught me that good things take time. You can't half-ass things. You can't be like, cool, I'm sitting here, I'll apply a job. Cool, I'll just quickly apply jobs. Applying jobs in a hurry and then not getting it, I feel like that is what you get if you are applying in a hurry. You have to sit down, you have to properly allocate time to a particular activity and do it wholeheartedly. I also read this fact that our brain kind of holds onto unfinished tasks, causing more and more stress. So, which is why writing them down and giving your brain a closure can actually improve your focus on doing those activities. So, I feel this really matters. I hope this small lecture about planning really gives you some idea about what I'm saying. But I do feel that if you're lazy but ambitious, just list 3 tasks for tomorrow before you sleep. Just open your notes app and write them down. I feel like small planning can actually lead to massive payoffs in your studies, jobs, and overall time management. So do that. Let's move on to habit number 4, which is learning to communicate. Like I said, you have to add it to your planner. You have to start working on your communication skills and English intentionally. See, I've come to realize that again, there's this lazy truth that we tell ourselves that it's easy to hang out with your own community people, but the ambitious twist that I want you to think here is that communication is actually your golden ticket to jobs, friends, and building that unshakable confidence. Now, what I read recently was that communication is consistently ranked in the top 3 skills employers actually seek globally. So, it's very important to work on it and it's very important to add it intentionally to your weekly plan. Now, why this matters is because every extra conversation, every communication heavy job is kind of free training that compounds into better career opportunities, which is why you need to intentionally sign up for communication heavy jobs and try to go out of your comfort zone and talk to random people, trying to build your network. And your network is also only built when people find you interesting, people feel like you have more interesting topics to talk about, and this still falls under becoming better at communication, because how can you do that? You need to start reading more books, start reading books on communication. Even fictional books can help you get better. Like if you think that self-help books are boring to start with, maybe start with a genre that you're really interested in. Like I love reading crime thriller books. I love watching crime thriller Netflix series. So, which is why I started with a crime thriller book and I just became a book lover. So, then after reading those crime thrillers, I was like, why not? Let's explore some self-help books as well. And I started reading communication heavy books, and I realized how that actually changed my whole mindset towards networking, communication. I would be happy to build a, full video on top books that I recommend. So just comment down books and I would do it. But I want you to start exploring, what do you like to do as well? What books do you like to read? So books, going out of your comfort zone and talking to people, all of these things will actually help you get better at communication, but only if you intentionally think about it and add it to your plan. That brings us to our habit number 5, which is self presentation. I feel that the lazy truth that we try to give here ourselves is, that's okay, pajamas are cool, messy look is the new presentation. But to be honest, it's not. Believe me that the ambitious twist that you really want to think about here is, presentable grooming makes people take you seriously instantly. Believe me, I have experienced this. When you're actually looking presentable, people think that, this person gives a fuck about how they look. So that means they might also give a damn about how they work, about how they complete a certain task. And that is actually true. If you're trying to do something properly, you might also take that mindset elsewhere. And I was reading somewhere that it's actually a research from Princeton that shows that it takes only 0.1 seconds for people to form a first impression about you. And appearance is usually the first filter. And I know I hate saying this, that, you should never judge a book by its cover, but this is the sad reality that we are living in. And if it is a science backed fact, why not use it to your own advantage? Why not put in a little bit more intentional effort in grooming yourself? Make sure that, if you are a man, your beard is cut properly, you have a proper haircut, you are, thinking and putting in time and wearing appropriate attire. If you're a girl, maybe you're making sure that, your hair looks good, it looks well placed. If you want to, also use a sunscreen. And you'll get hundreds of videos on how to groom yourself as per the occasion, if it's an interview, or if it's a normal class that you're going to attend, or if it's a part-time job that you're going to ask. So make sure that you always also have a good perfume on, because it's very easy to get the fragrance, get the body odor past. So it's really important for us to make sure that we are looking presentable, smelling presentable, and talking in a presentable way. All of these things really matter. And I feel looking neat is actually an easiest shortcut to getting everything done. Make sure that you always have 2 to 3 outfits always ready at all times, and you just need a few things. It's not like I'm saying get into an over consumerism. You just need some basic things: basic moisturizer, basic deodorant, basic perfume, basic sunscreen, and a few outfits to go to, and you're set. That brings us to habit number 6 that I really want you to build, which is money management. See, now I understand we've never managed money back in our home country. If you coming straight after college and we start earning here, we're not sure how to manage our money, or we're not getting a job and we are low on funds, so we don't know how to manage our money. Which is why stop thinking it from a mindset of, oh, I hate budgeting, I don't even know what to do, and what is budgeting. I want you to start thinking, and I want you to apply the ambitious mindset here, which is, even a simple weekly limit on how much you spend can actually build a huge financial discipline. I still remember, as soon as I used to get paid from my part-time job, I would allocate money in my different saving accounts. So I, have this Combank app that I had back from, when I was a student, and I just built like 3-4 accounts in it, which you can build in app. And you can also set a goal. So like, I've currently set a wedding goal, because I have my wedding coming in next 8 weeks or something like that, 8 or 10 weeks. I just want to make sure that I'm at the top of my finances. So what you can do as a student is, whichever bank you are with, make sure that you open a savings account, and as soon as you get paid, set up a direct debit that would take the money from your main account into your savings account, so that all the funds that you can actually see in your actual account are very less, and you don't think that you have a lot going on and you overspend. Because it's very normal to happen. When you see money coming in from your part-time jobs, you could feel like, oh, I have a lot of money, let's just reward myself. Let's just go and buy some makeup or a gadget or PS5, I don't know. So what you really need to do is, you have to make sure that you keep money you keep less money in that main account so that you don't see money, out of sight, out of mind. And like I said, just building a weekly, just looking at your expenses and accordingly building a weekly plan can go a very long way, trust me. I used to do that, and now these days I don't even feel like spending, because I feel in these early years we are actually building all our habits, and these habits will go with us in our 30s, in our 40s, which is why you really need to start thinking about how you manage your money from now on, so that in the next 10 years you are in the habit of doing those things. I recently also saw a study in Journal of Consumer Affairs that students who budgeted had lower financial stress and better academic performance. Because think about it, if you are mentally sorted about the money that you have in account and how you are managing your expenses, you would be better able to focus on your academics and applying jobs, which is why it's very important to stay away from that financial stress and budget beforehand. And I also feel that money decisions that you take now as a student will decide if you can stay in Australia, apply for PR, or move cities. I feel ambition without money discipline leads to stress and a lot of delays. I remember back when I was planning to move to Canberra, I had just completed my studies, so technically I was still a student. And I decided to move to Canberra. If I wouldn't have had money to, relocate to a different city, because when you're relocating, you are still finding a job, you will quit one job, start another job, you'll pay for accommodation beforehand, and there's a lot of extra expense with moving cities. And I wouldn't have been able to do that. And if I wouldn't have been able to move cities, I wouldn't have sorted my PR by now, my citizenship by now. So this is why I'm saying that having ambition without money discipline can actually lead to a lot of stress and a lot of bad decisions. So plan your money properly. Cool. Now that I've given you a full money lesson, let's just get on to habit number 7, which is the last one. And can you guess what that is? Any guesses? Drum roll. Yes, it's networking. I know networking feels big and scary, and I get a lot of questions from you guys that how to even network. But the ambitious twist that I want you to think here is, it's as small as messaging one person a week, or giving yourself a goal of going out of your comfort zone and talking to a random new person in uni, just one person a week. Even doing that can actually make you feel like that your network is growing, your circle of people that you know in Australia is growing, and that also kind of leads to lowering that mental stress, because you feel like you have more people to rely on in this new continent that you've just moved. I was also reading that there's this research from LinkedIn straight away that shows 85% of jobs are actually filled through networking and not on job boards. So think about it. I can tell you that I have landed so many jobs in Australia, part-time jobs or even full-times, only through networking. I knew someone whom I worked with in the past. They had really liked me, and that's how I got that job. Or I know someone whom I really liked and saw an opportunity and referred them to it. So I cannot emphasize on how much networking is important, and I've said this 1,000 times in my videos. You are starting your life from a complete scratch. You are a nobody when you come here. That is when you really need to pull up your socks and start networking. Go out, talk to people, but also, make it intentional. Like, don't just do it for the sake of networking. Do it because you are actually interested in people. You actually want to know how they are doing. You actually want to know if there's some new project that they're doing these days. And I know some of you might think that I'm an introvert, I'm shy, how do I even reach out to people? But this is the time to get out of your comfort zone and become a little less shy maybe. Now, I'm not saying that there's something bad in being shy or introvert. You might have your own skill set, which could be amazing and a lot better than an extrovert. But if you are an ambitious person who wants to study abroad, you have to understand that you'll have to go out of your comfort zone and build networks around you. You're leaving all your family, your friends, your network, your contacts, your people back in your home country. So now when you come here, you need to start having people that you can rely on. It could even be people that are very similar to you. Try to look up people on Meetup, on even Bumble BFF. Bumble BFF is a great place to find like-minded friends. So to is think about How can you send that one message, attend that one event? Over time, I've realized that these tiny efforts actually compound into life changing opportunities. So try and go out of your comfort zone and build that circle around you. So, lastly, I just want you to remember that this moving abroad is not the finish line, it's actually the starting line. And if you stay complacent, it will cost you a lot in jobs, in PR, in confidence. But if you're lazy yet ambitious, you don't need to do everything perfectly. Remember that. Just start with these simple habits. They are easy, they're science backed, and they will build the foundation for your success here in Australia. I'm not kidding. It is actually how I got my PR, how I got my full time job, and how I am able to manage a full time job, a full time YouTube channel, cooking, cleaning, working out, going to the gym, socializing, and almost everything. Which of these habits do you already have, and which ones will you start today? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe because my goal is simple: to help you start this study abroad journey way better than I did back in 2018. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.